Hi, I'm Claudia Brown Coulter with Pivotal Peace, your go-to mediator for navigating divorce while parenting children with special needs. I'm also an IEP coach, so let's talk about keeping that consistency in your child's services after divorce. All kids thrive on consistency, but if your child has any sort of special needs, consistency is absolutely essential. Our kids rely on predictable routines, structured support, and constant communication. I mean, you don't need to be texting your ex every day, but we need to have clear, open channels of communication because our children should not be responsible to communicating with their parent about their own needs. No, you're the parent. You're the parent. All right. So when parents, though, aren't aligned and it's not that parents are intentionally trying to hurt their children. I don't even think people are doing this intentionally, like I'm going to screw with you through our child. Most people don't do that. But they get so caught up in their own conflict and their own drama, everything becomes collateral damage. So you're watching this video so that doesn't happen to you. It doesn't happen to your child. So you can kind of take a step back and reflect and become self-aware, like, oh my God, am I doing this? Because I know you're not trying to do this. I know that that's not your intention. So when parents are in conflict, they're not aligned about their children's needs, we're having missed appointments. We've got necessary appointments with service providers that are being missed, that are being skipped because it's my day. I wasn't responsible. I don't need to go. Why did you schedule it on my day? And that leads to gaps. And when there are gaps in these appointments and the therapy and the help and the practice, there's a stall in your child's progress. And it's confusing for your child, for the rest of the school team. They don't know what's going on, and the child doesn't know when they're going to get what they need. All right, so consistency is continuity. We want to continue that continuity of care. And really, consistency can translate to love and safety for your child. Kids feel safe when they know what to predict. All kids feel safe when they know what to predict. So we need to create a unified plan, even in two households. You and your co-parent need to be on the same page so that your kid can't manipulate you, right? Like, we don't want that. But so that your child has everything they need to succeed and thrive in life. So you've got in your parenting plan, you need to spell out who's attending these IEP meetings. Are you guys going together? Are you alternating? Is it just one person? How are you going to share documents from the school, from the doctor, from other service providers? How are both of you going to be aware? Are you going to have, I know some people have a shared email account, jimmy'sparents@gmail.com. And that's the email they use for the school for all the things. It's not their personal email. It's just for Jimmy's stuff from the school, from the doctors, so that both people can see it. You need in your parenting plan really to dictate how we're going to follow through on these things, that we are following through on medical advice and on these daily routines and on these therapy sessions. And if things change, or when things change, I should say, this is the process we're going to follow to make sure that we're still aligned. So you can use a shared calendar or a communication tool like Talking Parents or Our Family Wizard. It can be as simple as email only or a Google Calendar, something like that. You can use that, a Google folder, something. You need to consider agreeing, like, who's going to transport them to services? Is it just going to be, they have these services and these are on your days and these are on my days, and whenever we're going to get them into the next available appointment, whoever's day that is, it's their day. And if they're late at work that day, they're going to communicate something, right? Something, because you have to have a backup plan. Now back to these co-parenting communication apps. My hope for you is that if you have to use them in the beginning, you don't have to keep using them. That the emotion, the heat from your divorce has died down so much that we're okay if we need to text, if we need to email, if we even need to make a phone call. There is not so much animosity, hate, angst, anger involved in our communication that we can't communicate respectfully about our own children. So hopefully you were able to wean yourself off of those devices and those things. And really, like a Google Calendar or whatever, use something like that. Use something like that. Now, when you are talking to your co-parent, this is where you've got to get better. You've got to get better. There is such a thing as over communication, right? Because you don't want to nag them. You can also have a lot of words, and not be saying anything. So you need to have brief statements that are to the point, not ambiguous, very clear requests, that are neutral, that do not ascribe blame, that focus on the fact, hey, the therapist reported this. Can we try this week and see if it works? You okay with that? And then maybe we can touch base and see if this works for both of our households and how our child reacts to this. And then if we have any issues, maybe when we go back, we can bring them up with the therapist. This is not assuming that the therapist is right. This is going, hey, let's see what works for both of our households. And then it becomes a collaborative process. Especially in the beginning, write things down. Even at this point, my co-parent said something to me and I'm good. I write things down. I put things in my calendar. But there was a family emergency this past week. I forgot. And so my co-parent went back and was like, I'm making you a calendar invite. Oh, I'm turning a little bit red thinking about it because it's a little embarrassing because it's not my MO, right? But when monkey wrenches get thrown into your plan, that happens. So a calendar invite is exactly what I needed. And I appreciated that because that's what I would normally do for him. Thank you. Thank you. So, but for the most part, written communication is great because you can document it. Written communication is great also because you can go back and review what you said before you press send. And you want to keep copies of your written decisions, requests, your agreements. And if you get stuck on something, ask for mediation. Like I just did a mediation for a couple, maybe about a month ago, who they really needed help getting just their summer schedule ironed out, just for this summer. Great. Let's get it ironed out so that you guys can start this summer in peace. Totally fine. Just took an hour. They're done. They're great. Now, if the other parent isn't cooperating, you already know you can't control them. And also you know that you're free from them. You're free. You're no longer their spouse. You're divorced at this point. You're just their co-parent. So really focus on the good things and focus what's in your control. You can keep records. You can meditate, you can go to therapy, you can control how you communicate with them. You can notify the school team if there's any issues or errors or if there's confusion. You can go back to mediation, suggest let's go back to mediation for these one or two issues, or maybe we should change our parenting plan to address this. There's a lot of things that are in your control, and your co-parent is going to read you and take your lead. If you're not ascribing blame, if you're not being combative, if you really are solutions oriented in a way that is respectful, I know that's a big word I use on this channel, respectful. And that's really hard. I know a lot of people are like, well, they haven't earned my respect or they lost my respect. Okay. But if they're like a lot of people who are disrespectful, they're just going to dig their heels in and then your child's going to suffer. So you can swallow that pride and go, yeah, that's some BS. I shouldn't have to be respectful for that to them, but I'm going to do it because I love my kids so much. I'm going to do it because I love myself so much, and I'm not going to stoop to their level. I'm going to be super respectful because I'm amazing. Whatever motivates you, it's going to change them. It's going to change them. So your divorce has already changed your child's life a lot. It's changed your life a lot, hopefully for the better. But you shouldn't allow your divorce to impact your child's services and the care that they received. So as you're walking through the divorce, if you did not do this already and you're already divorced, then let's go back and do it now. Really dictate and write out what each person's responsibility is going to be in terms of supporting your child if they have an IEP, so that the focus is on their well-being, the focus is on making sure that they receive the services and support that they need, and that you as their parents are not standing in the way of that. Now, if it's the school standing in the way of that, that's a totally different conversation. But you two as parents, you are your advocates for your child. You stand in between them and the school. The school should be helping them. So you guys need to be aligned. That way you guys can make sure that your child has the support and everything that they need. So be thinking about this. Now, remember, I'm a mediator. I'm also an IEP coach. I can help you with your IEP as you guys are on a unified front, or help you get on the same page so that you can have or communicate with the IEP, the rest of the IEP team, so that you can have an IEP that actually works for your child. But you can't do that if you two are in conflict. Let's get you out of conflict so that then you can work with the team and be constructive members of that team and get the whole team out of conflict and get your child the support and services that they need to thrive. All right, if you found this video useful, please like and subscribe. Share it with a friend who can use it. And if you've got some ideas of things like, I really want to know about this, go ahead and drop a comment below so that I can make a video for you. Have a great day. I'll see you guys soon.